What would you do if you received a text message from yourself? Not from a stranger pretending to be you. Not from a cloned number. But from your own phone number. Dated 10 years in the future. And the message says, "Don't reply." If you're new here, welcome to Tales After Dark. I'm your host, and every week I bring you stories that will keep you up at night. Stories of mystery. Stories of horror. Stories that will make you question reality. If you enjoy dark stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You don't want to miss out on new uploads. Now let's dive into tonight's story. This is a story about Sarah Mitchell. A story that begins at 2:47 a.m. on a cold October night. A story that would change her life forever. But before we get to that night, let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah Mitchell was 32 years old. She lived alone in a small apartment on the outskirts of Portland, Oregon. The same apartment she had shared with her sister Emily, 10 years ago. Emily was younger by 2 years. She had bright red hair, a laugh that could fill any room, and dreams bigger than the Oregon sky. She wanted to be a writer. She was working on her first novel when the accident happened. It was a rainy night in November. Emily was driving home from a late-night writing session at a coffee shop. The roads were slick. A truck ran a red light. Emily never made it home. The driver walked away with a broken leg. Emily was pronounced dead at the scene. The case was closed in 6 months. Wrong place, wrong time. A tragedy. A statistic. A story people would forget. But Sarah never forgot. Every year, on the anniversary of that night, Sarah would light a candle. She would sit by the window and talk to her sister. Tell her about her day. Tell her about the things she wished she could have said. She never told anyone about those conversations. They were private. Sacred. Until the night everything changed. Remember to subscribe if you're enjoying this story. It was 2:47 a.m. Sarah was deep in a dreamless sleep when her phone buzzed. Once. Twice. 3 times. She reached for it, the bright screen hurting her eyes. 3 text messages. All from the same number. Her number. The first message read, "Meet me at the old lighthouse." The second, "Come alone, 3 a.m. The third, "If you want to know the truth about your sister." Sarah's blood ran cold. She stared at the screen. Read the messages again. And again. Her thumb hovered over the reply button. Every instinct screamed at her to respond. To demand answers. To find out who was doing this. But then she noticed the timestamp. The messages were dated 10 years in the future. October 31st, 2036. Sarah's hands trembled. This had to be a prank. Someone had gotten hold of her number, cloned it somehow. Technology was advanced now. People did things like this for content. For followers. But deep down, in a place she couldn't explain, Sarah knew this was different. The words echoed in her mind, "Don't reply." Who was she not to reply to? And why? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more dark stories. An hour later, Sarah found herself driving down the coastal highway. The old lighthouse was 30 miles outside of Portland. It had been abandoned for decades, ever since the new automated light was installed further up the coast. Local teenagers used it as a dare. Urban explorers photographed it for their blogs. But no one went there at 3 in the morning. The lighthouse stood alone on the cliff edge, its beam cutting through the darkness like a sword. The waves crashed against the rocks below, 1,000 feet down. The wind howled through the cracks in the old stone tower. Sarah parked her car on the gravel lot. The engine died with a final sputter. She sat there for a long moment, staring at the structure before her. "This is crazy," she whispered to herself. "Emily is dead." But something pulled her forward. She stepped out into the cold night air. The wind ripped at her jacket. The salt spray stung her eyes. The lighthouse loomed above her, ancient and waiting. The door creaked open as if expecting her. Inside, the lighthouse was dark. Really dark. Sarah used her phone's flashlight to navigate. The walls were covered in old graffiti. The floor was cracked and covered in debris. At the center of the room, a spiral staircase wound its way upward. Sarah took a deep breath. Her heart was pounding so loud she could hear it. Each step echoed in the empty tower. The metal was cold under her fingers. Rusted. Unstable. 20 steps. 40 steps. 60 steps. Her legs burned. Her lungs ached. But she kept climbing. And then she reached the top. The lamp room. It was different from the rest of the lighthouse. Someone had been here recently. The floor was clean. The old equipment had been pushed to the sides. And in the center of the room, there was a table. On it sat a laptop. Its screen glowed. Hit subscribe if you want more stories like this. Sarah approached slowly. Her footsteps were silent on the wooden floor. The laptop was old. A model from 10 years ago. The kind Emily used to write on. The screen showed an email draft. An unsent email. Sarah's hands trembled as she looked at it. The sender was Emily. The date was November 15, 2016. The night Emily died. The subject line read, "I'm sorry, Sarah, I have to tell you the truth." Sarah clicked to open it. The email was short. "Dear Sarah, if you're reading this, I succeeded. I went back. I had to stop what happened. Don't look for me. Don't try to understand. Just know that I love you. And I gave you the warning I wish I had received. The lighthouse is the fold in time. Come back with me, Sarah. We can fix everything. There's a button below. Return. Press it. Emily." Sarah scrolled down. There was more. "You'll receive this message because I sent it from the future. I know how this sounds. I know you think you've lost your mind. But you haven't. 10 years ago, something happened that night. Something I need to undo. The lighthouse, it's a door, Sarah. A door between moments. When you get this message, I'll already be gone. I'll already be here, waiting for you. Waiting for you to make a choice. Come find me. Let me explain everything. Press return. Come home to me. Emily." At the bottom of the email was a button. Just like Emily said. A simple button that said return. Subscribe and join the Tales After Dark family. Sarah stared at the button. Her mind raced. 1,000 thoughts flooded her brain. She could save Emily. She could stop the accident. She could have her sister back. They could grow old together. They could have the lives they were supposed to have. All she had to do was press the button. Her finger touched the screen. She felt the cold glass under her fingertip. And then she stopped. She pulled her hand back. She thought about the message. If you want to know the truth about your sister, meet me at the old lighthouse. It wasn't a rescue mission. It wasn't about saving Emily. This was a test. Emily didn't want to be saved. She had already made her choice. 10 years ago, in another timeline, another moment, Emily had made her peace. She wanted Sarah to let go. Sarah understood now. The warning wasn't about not replying to a text. It was about not trying to change the past. Not trying to bring back someone who had already found their rest. Some people aren't meant to come back. Sarah deleted the email. She closed the laptop. She walked out of the lighthouse and drove home. The sun was beginning to rise by the time she got back. Orange and pink painted the sky. A new day. A new beginning. She made herself a cup of coffee. Sat by the window. And waited. At exactly 7 a.m., her phone buzzed. A text from her own number. But this time, it was dated today. Thank you. I can finally rest. Sarah smiled through her tears. Some stories don't have happy endings. Some stories don't have sad endings either. Some stories just have closure. Sarah never returned to the lighthouse. The old tower was torn down 2 years later to make way for a new scenic viewpoint. By then, Sarah had moved on. Gotten a new job. Started a new life. But every year, on Emily's birthday, Sarah lit a candle. And she told her sister the story of that night. The story of the message from the future. The story of the choice. Because that's what it all comes down to in the end. Not the ghosts. Not the mysteries. Not even the impossible things. The choice. The choice to let go. The choice to move on. The choice to honor the dead by living your own life. Subscribe reminder. Thank you for watching the last message. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales from the dark side. I'm Sarah Mitchell, and this is Tales After Dark. Remember, every story has a choice.